What I see as the biggest struggle in manifesting your desired reality is the harmony of your vibration. That sounds weird and it's just a story, it's just an assumption, but hear me out. I have clients that are new to this. I have clients that are very rich. I have clients that are not new to this. They have read all the books. They've spent 30 years in this industry and they are still searching. And this video is primarily for that category. So you know it all, you that is watching this video. If you do, stay. You've tried it all. If you have, stay. You watch a lot of coaches. You've maybe had coaches, then stay. But it's still some kind of holding you back. There's still days where you doubt it. There's still days where it doesn't happen. That is what we're going to talk about because most likely you're just out of tune. Let's talk about it. I will make a few drawings for you on my iPad that will really elaborate on this topic. We're going to talk about how it's supposed to be like a cardiogram. Maybe that's what it's called in English, but your manifestation efforts, they're supposed to be just like the rhythm of your heart, just like a wave. And if that curve is obscured, your doctor would say, hey, there's something wrong with your heart. And your heart is not more effective if it pumps faster, right? You could say, okay, I would like my heart to beat all the time because then I would have a better heart. Well, that would not actually be the case. Maybe actually the opposite, right? It's actually about having a lower heart rate. And that's also the case with manifestation. You are sending so many signals about what you want that you're not letting the orchestra play. And before I make it into a drawing so that you understand it, imagine that you're running a giant orchestra, right? And you want them to play Time or something by Hans Zimmer, right? And you say, but play this tune, right? And they are just about to begin playing this wonderful tune that can bring you to tears, and you say it again. Sorry, stop. And they take their whatever instrument they're playing down, they listen to you, and you say the same thing again. Play this tune, right? And before they can even begin, you ask them, why are you not playing this tune? Right? And you're really building distrust between you and the orchestra. They actually were starting to like you, but now they're thinking, what are you doing? Why are you not letting us play this tune? And already now, maybe some of you will be thinking, yeah, I'm maybe trying too hard. Yes, you are, because God heard you the first time. And when you are manifesting, you're looking for something that knows you by name already. It's yours. Right? So let's try to make a drawing out of it so that you can begin to understand, okay, what should I do? Let's jump on the iPad. Hopefully you can see my drawings. What I would like for you to do is actually be present. And we'll start with that story. Why? You believe in a story right now where I think we'll make that bigger, where you believe in a story about yourself. Right? You believe that you're going into another frame. And this is called a horizontal story. We can call it that. And you believe that's your story. But what I'm saying is, no, none of that is your story. It just appears to be your story. What is actually your story goes in the other direction. It goes like this. It's a vertical story of you being an extension of God, always being able to choose a tune and then change this story based on doing that. But every time you are in this story of going from past to future, you are out of tune. Right? Let's draw it out. So if, let's say, that my preferred way of manifesting would be for you to have a tune like this, not caring and not believing in your current story, go into a small image of who you want to be. continuing, and then having a thought about how everything is perfect, and then staying present, right? And have this harmonious relationship where you spend the most of your time in the present moment. But what do you do? So let's just write it out, present. And let's call it activation. Let's call it, it's not really needed, this effort, but let's call it activation for what it, because that's somewhat what it is, right? That's the preferred way. Let's draw it out how most people are doing it, right? And so don't say I'm assuming on behalf of you. You can just say whatever Chris is saying that I'm doing is not true, right? I'm really giving you stories and drawings for you to realize your own power so that you can get out of my channel, right? Obviously, I would like for you to subscribe. I would like for you to keep listening and using my meditations and all of that. Plenty more to come. But what this is really about is I'm holding your torch until you can take it. And when you take it, I will say, go on, live your life. But what you're really doing is you are focused on this story. So when you are in the present moment, you are actually just in this frame, right? But you believe in the story of your bills and your past and your trauma. So you are not flatlined to begin with. You are actually like this, thinking all the time. So these are all micro activations of your old story, right? Maybe you can't see it, but I'm saying it. I don't know how this pixelates up on your screen. So now you meditate and say, okay, let me activate my dream. And yes, that might be a big spike, surge of energy in a direction. And then you start hammering activations again. The moment you have been to meditation, you start saying, do I have it? Why isn't it here? Did I do it wrong? Meditation, meditation, meditation. Should I affirm? Should I watch a video? So you can see how your day is it's stressed, right? It makes your mood weird, right? And maybe you can relate to this, how this feels like a constant struggle or constant effort, because this red diagram that I'm drawing for you right now is really effort. It's really trying hard. And yes, maybe some of these micro activations are, I'm the creator of my own reality. I'm not stressed. I'm not trying. I get everything I want. Maybe some of them they are, but you don't need that much creation. You need gratitude. And what's the highest form of gratitude and the highest form of belief that I'm already it? What Neville Goddard would call living in the end. What would be living in the end? Not creating anything, because you already have it. Right? So you can see this is gratitude at the highest level, appreciating, because I know I have it all, so I don't have to worry about it. I don't have to go to any thought. I can just be here in the present moment with my job, with my friends, with my wife, with my kids, with my car, with my groceries, with my potatoes that needs peeling, whatever. Right? But instead of that, you never really attend to the day in the right way. You're never really there enjoying your life because you're just hammering all over the place. Firstly, this is important to understand. And I think the story about the orchestra really gives you something to think about. Okay, let me accept that the orchestra also needs to play this tune. Right? And imagine you were going out with friends and you're sitting at a restaurant and and you ordered chicken. And the moment you ordered chicken, I said, I don't think they're going to bring you chicken. Right? But you do that to yourself. But you ordered chicken. Most likely they're going to bring you chicken. If not, you can ask for the correct thing. If they suddenly bring you beef, you can say, I ordered chicken. Right? And that actually also relates to physical reality and how you should not accept breadcrumbs, how you should not accept anything less than your manifestations. Just say, no, that's not it. Right? Moving on to the next drawing. Very powerful drawing. You started off as a light What scientists, they call this is actually the micro version of the Big Bang. They say it was a very condensed point of matter, but it was actually not. It was actually a very condensed point of potential until it decided to also have matter to relate itself to. That's another talk, but that's actually you being born as consciousness, as a light. We call that the light, the I am, the present moment, or God, Allah, source, consciousness, awareness, and you can keep up going, whatever you want to call it. The moment you're born, you have a relationship with yourself. You are now self-aware, right? We call that I am that I am. So I'm aware that I'm aware, right? You then begin to believe that you are the second I am, but you are still the truest source of yourself. You're still just awareness in its purest form, being aware. So you think you are what you have to be aware of, your character, your looks, your reality. But I'm saying right now, no, you're not. You are the one aware. That's the only thing you are. The rest of it is a playing ground that you can enjoy, and it's malleable. You can change it. You don't have to fix it, but it changes all the time. It's not fixed. So you call it reality, but it's not. It's not reality. You are reality. So the difference between the big circle, right, out here, and this, there's no difference, right? These two are the same. So you are all of it, right? So let me just paint it. So all of this you are. And this is your entire reality, right? Everything in the entire reality, all the stars, they happen in your awareness. We talk about that on my workshops all the time. We talk about that on the channel, so I won't go into it in this video. But you are, when you are born, all there is. And you continue to be that, you just forget, you just have amnesia. Because what part of physical reality that starts to solidify is then based on your idea of yourself. Your self-concept, some people call it, or what you are aware of being. Let's draw this circle once more. So your parents, they give you a perspective on life and say money problems. They give you anger. They give you trauma. Whatever they give you. So they give you something to be aware of. And just to go with this as a simple story, imagine that your dad or your mom told you that you were always bad at math. And the moment you then failed at math, they said, that's okay. I was always bad at math. You will never be good at math. So that story becomes solid. But the only true thing about it is the story. The story solidifies itself as a physical reality that confirms it, and your identity creates a brain that believes it, a system that believes it. It really hinders you from being good at math, right? It creates a brain that is actually coded in that way, which then means that you think this is real, but I'm afraid of flying, or I'm bad at math. Well, none of these are true except that you believe they are true. And that's what I call the law of knowing. The stuff you know about yourself is what becomes true. That's why you're never surprised. And that's one of the biggest revelations you should have in terms of reality, is that when you wake up, why are you never surprised? Because you are the same as that. Why do you believe exactly the same as reality shows to you? Because they are always incongruency. They are always same. Enough about that for now. What you need to know is then, you're still the light in the middle, but you think that you are this character out in the side here, right? This little red feller. You think you're that. But I am saying, no, you're not. And you will never be. You are this feller, still just being aware of all there is. And you can look at this blue area, And that blue area we call the scene. But there is another, and that is the unseen. That is what it's called in religious texts, and that is the red area. Let's just say that the rest of it is red, right? So that's the car you don't have, the house you don't have, the skills you don't have, whatever. It's all something that you also are, you're just not aware of it, and that's why it has not shown up in physical reality. This will become very powerful in just a minute if you stick with me. What then happens is that you think, I'm this guy over here with the red arrow, and I need to go over here to my dream life. Right? And you think it takes physical work and physical exercise because you think you are that character with all of that. So you think it takes this entire journey of going around the globe, right? But what I'm saying, no, you can travel with the speed of light because you are awareness. So the fastest thing known to man, the speed of light, you can travel with to your dream life. So the moment you say so and become aware of it, you are this perspective. You can simply become aware of it. How? By declaring it. And you will understand this in a few seconds or in a few minutes. Declare it. You're living your dream life today. And when was the last time you did that? When was the last time that you became aware of something that you did not see? You do that all the time when you expect bad things to happen. And now you need to do it with good things. And you can be aware of things you don't see right now. You know you have an uncle, even though you don't see him. You know you have a car, even though you're not sitting in it right now. So you know these things. So you can become aware. Why? Because in awareness, there's no difference between memory, future tense, experience, imagination. That's human made-up words for the same thing, awareness. Don't believe me? Close your eyes, go to memory, change the memory, incorporate my voice in the memory, and you will notice it happens in the same place at the same time. Memories appear in the same place on this internal screen when you close your eyes, and it's called your awareness. It just happens. Try to close your eyes and experience a memory. When does it happen? In the past? That's not possible. You're not in the past. When does it happen? Now. Think about me. When does it happen? Now. What's the distance between your memory and me in your awareness? None. They happen in the same place. So it's all the same, and physical reality is simply some kind of aftermath of that. It's the reflection of that. So this you're looking at right now, it's dead. It's listening to you. God heard you the first time. The orchestra, they heard you. They are changing it based on what you declare. What reality are you living in? What story are you believing in? What do you think about yourself? So you need to take the focus and attention back from that red guy, right, with the red arrow, back into the green guy in the middle. So you become pure awareness simply by becoming present. Breathe now and feel your breath. And by doing that, you obviously go you go up into this guy, right? You get that baseline of just creation. So you go, in this drawing, you go from the horizontal guy, believing in the story, to the vertical. I can be whatever I want. I have this present moment. I am in here, but I'm not attaching myself to any memories or any stories. I'm just awareness, being aware. And by doing that, you are liberating yourself. And the story I sometimes tell about this drawing is that imagine you're in a dark shed, right? You have just bought a new house, and in the garden there's this huge old shed in the garden. You open it, it's kind of scary, you have a flashlight. And you light upon things, right? and you light upon this old lawnmower. And that's actually what you're doing with your reality. You still realize there's so much more in the shed, but you're choosing to light on the lawnmower. And now you start to think that you need to change that lawnmower into something you want, which you trying to fix your current reality. No, but I would like to change this lawnmower. But that lawnmower is just a lawnmower. You're just shining a light on it. Shine a light on everything else in this. And if you dared to shine the light in another direction, you would see a Mercedes and a sauna and a room for a pony. To the people that get that reference, they are old schoolers. But you decide to keep on looking at that lawnmower and say, no, because you see, Chris, to get that lawnmower, for that to become a Mercedes, I need a miracle. I need a goddamn miracle. I need to change the looks of it. I need a new engine. It's impossible. And I'm saying no, because you are not your perspective, you are awareness. So you're not going from a lawnmower to Mercedes, you are realizing the lawnmower is that's there because you're shining a light on it. Shine a light on the Mercedes as an extension of God having amnesia. As the creator of your reality, experience that Mercedes in your awareness. Not all the time, but check into it. Once in a while, when you think about that, check into it in small doses. Know it's yours, claim it's yours, and continue enjoying your life to the best of your ability. And you look at that lawnmower again, no, because I need to get rid of this lawnmower. And I'm saying, no, you don't. You're not going from your current life to a new life. You are liberating yourself. And when you do this, you realize what some of my clients realize, that those bills, they will disappear. They will be canceled. They will be paid. You will sometimes just get a random check. You will sometimes just earn the amount you need to those bills. It just happens randomly, but not when you state it needs to happen in this way. I imagine I need to change that bill. It can only happen in this way, in this way, in this way. No. Consciousness, God, Allah, Source, whatever you call it, handles that part of it when you manifest. I cannot remember the exact quote from scripture, but I and God are the same, but my Father is certainly greater than I, or something like that, right? Which is really talking to this story of, yes, you are an extension of God, but because you are in this human body, you are the director of the orchestra. You're not the orchestra. You are very closely related, but you can let that orchestra play by itself. Reality can change into the experience you want by you claiming that it has already changed. Right? That's how this works, so that you don't think, I need to change my lawnmower into a room for a pony. I need to change my lawnmower into a sauna. No, you don't. You need to remove the light from the lawnmower, shine a light on the Mercedes, shine a light on the room for a pony and on the sauna. And not all the time. Get out of the shed. Enjoy your life. Do what you would do. Live in the end. Right? Be present. And then check into that with the knowing that is so important, with the knowing that you have it all. And that is really what I would declare every day. And it's also something I told on my story today on Instagram. You can visit my Instagram on the link below this video. I post success stories on my stories, but I don't post other than that most of the time. But today on story I said, when was the last time that you claimed everything instead of claiming one thing? Instead of saying I have a car, Why don't you assume that you have it all without lifting a finger? Right? Go out there, claim that you are the creator of your reality, and start saying it. It's always perfect. I'm living my desired reality. And then walk in that knowing. So, in terms of manifestation, techniques, do less. In terms of trying, do less. Do less and enjoy more. That's really what this is about. And you can see, hopefully you get this, that if you are so focused on this part of your life, right, the big blue part of your life, you keep assuming that is who I am and I need to change it. I need to change the lawnmower into a sauna. And you can see how that's not how it works. That's not how reality works. And then you keep on walking in the same movie, in the horizontal story of your life that never changes. Right? So the funny part about this drawing, actually, right, is that, let's draw it one more time. Right? Present, just so you understand it. Future and past. Is that this story never changes. But this story, where you are present and deciding who you are in this present moment, what you believe about yourself, what you want, that has a new story in every frame as well. Right? So the present and the past continues to change along with your present interpretation of yourself. Right? So you don't have to change the red story. You have to start claiming the green story. Right? And the more you do that, the more it's all just green somehow. And that's really, really how you live a harmonious life, is you start knowing it's not about doing more. You cannot add to this creation. God heard you the first time. You don't have to affirm it anymore. The only reason why robotic affirmations work is because they counter the noise in your otherwise unharmonious relationship with yourself. So that more of the tune you're playing becomes what you want, but it's really overkill because you just try to drown out the part of you that is creating your current reality. So you can do that. You can also just cut back on both and say, I've declared it. I walk in that knowing that it's fulfilled. Right? It's never mentioned in scripture. Pray 5 times. If you don't get it, pray 5 more times. If you still don't have it, maybe believe in God, maybe don't. Try praying 5 more times, see if it works. No. Pray, right? And think you have, and if you think you got it, then you have it. Right? That's really the core ingredients, is that any God in any religion will give you everything you ask for. Right? So what ingredients can you add? Patience, if you want. Trust, faith, right? Love. You can add these ingredients. You don't have to add action into the mix. Try more. Right? Trying more is maybe actually believing less, some would say. So don't do that. Get into this harmonious relationship and try it for the next few days. Try and sit back and relax and start every morning by saying, no matter what I do today, it's perfect. I'm living my desired reality. Everything is perfect. I always manifest what I want. I don't have to lift a finger. It's my reality. I decide what it is and what it's not. And then you spend as much time as you can that day enjoying yourself, staying in the present moment, not going into old stories, old thoughts. Feel your breath, feel your body. If you have to, see if you can smile, laugh, right? At the end of the day, you do the same. Now I'm going to bed as the creator of my own reality. I always get what I want, right? And everything I want is just mine, right? And then I want you to try this thing. I want you to visualize what you want when you're going to sleep, right? Relaxing, seeing what you want, maybe for the first time that day. This is my preferred view. And then you say, this is mine. I've decided that it's mine. And now I release it so that the universe, God, Allah, whatever you state, can create it for me. Right? Try to say that. So you don't force yourself to fall asleep in that image. You rest in the fact, now it's done. And that's actually the same thing as saying Amin, after a prayer. That actually just means, so be it, that now it's done. So it's the same as releasing it. That's actually what you're doing after a prayer. You're saying, that prayer was heard. That's actually what you're declaring with Amin. Right? So do that. I was about to go on another tangent, but I won't. Think about the orchestra. Think about the restaurant analogy when you go through your day. If you need to know that you're it. So do less. Try less. The more you can get into this harmonious relationship with yourself where you build this knowing and then stop entertaining that devil that keeps on telling you maybe you do more, you're not in the state, you're not in the right vibration, you should meditate. It's all just devil talk. It's all just the old mind telling you a story, but you're just awareness. You're just the light. The light cannot try less, cannot try more, cannot try too little. The awareness cannot meditate. It can only observe a character that meditates. Awareness cannot affirm. It can only observe you affirming. Awareness cannot be wrong. Awareness is perfect. Awareness is love. Awareness is forgiveness. And that's you. So you cannot be wrong. Go do this. All right? Talk to you soon. Maybe. Hopefully not. Or I don't know. Get out of here.